Welcome to a new episode of the Uruguayan-German Chamber of Commerce and Industry podcast. Today we're going to talk about something we all see in day-to-day business, but really truly know and understand, which is the operation and the maintenance of the new train in Uruguay. Behind the central railway, there are not only rails and wagons, but there are strategic decisions, German technology, European technology, local talent, and a major commitment from Germany to Uruguay, actually. And to talk about it, we are joined by someone very important, which is Niko Warbanoff. Niko, hi, welcome to you. Niko is the CEO of the DB Eco Group and the DB International Operations GmbH, the company operating and maintaining the train that connects UPM pulp mill in Paso de los Toros with the Port of Montevideo. Niko, thank you for being here with us.
Well, thanks a lot for the invitation, Kira, and I'm happy to be here.
Perfect. Thank you for being here. And I always like to start with the person instead the position. So who is Niko?
Who's Nico? Well, I'm 50 years old, yeah, and from Germany, and I'm passionate about mobility. So the first 10 years in my professional life, I worked for Mercedes in the automotive sector, and since 2009 in the railway sector. And yeah, I'm responsible for the international activities of Deutsche Bahn, and therefore also with the project here in Uruguay.
Very nice. And when you came first to Uruguay, because I learned today that it's your fourth or fifth time visiting the country, what was your first impression of the country? And now coming back after many times again, what is your impression now?
Well, I arrived in Uruguay first time some time ago, and I think it's even more than 5 times, 10 times, I would say. I have been here visiting the country and the project, and the first impression was the Ramblas, and of course in the evening a dinner with good meat and the people. I really enjoy working together with our colleagues of DBCC, and I will talk a lot about that later, certainly a little bit more. But predominantly, they are all new to the railway business, so that's something special to them and to us.
Very nice. And yeah, maybe let's add some context why we are having the podcast today. Because you mentioned you are very passionate about railway sector and about what you're doing in Germany. Now you can actually transfer what you're doing also to Uruguay. So many people see the train pass. Today I learned it's going 10 times during the day from the port of Montevideo to Todos Pasos, Paso de los Toros. So I would like to know what role does DBCC Transport plays and also DB Eco Group here in Uruguay?
Yes, I would like to start with our customer, which is UPM. I think well known in Uruguay for many decades in the pulp business active, and in Paso de los Toros, they have been building up their second pulp mill. And from the very beginning, it was integral part of the concept of UPM that the logistic should be happening via the railway. And by that, it was required that the existing railway route, which was not in use for decades, was required by the state of Uruguay to be modernized in order to be able that the railway can be operated from Paso de los Toros, where the pulp is being transported, to the port of Montevideo. And we also transport chemicals from the port then to the factory of UPM. So that's the purpose behind that. And also there were some targets which UPM required. So we talk about more than 2 million tons of pulp per year. And I'm very happy to report that we are really able to comply with that, and that we have, to the satisfaction of our customer, been able to transport every ton requested.
You also mentioned earlier we had a presentation here at the German Chamber of Commerce about the reduction of CO2 emissions. And I would like to know what is actually we are due to the project, yeah, taking care of the environment? How much do we actually decrease by CO2 emissions? And what is the joint venture? Because I understand you're not by yourself in this.
Absolutely. DBCC, the name stands for DB, Deutsche Bahn, and Christoffersen and Co-Inter. These are our partners. That's our joint venture. And we are complementary to each other. Christoffersen, of course, a local Uruguayan logistics company, well known in the market here, well known to UPM, and they helped us a lot getting familiar with the country and, of course, with the requirements by UPM there. Co-Inter from Spain, they have been constructing what we call today the COM, the Center of Operation Maintenance. Canelones, that's where we are headquartered, so to say. That's the depot, and the offices are there. And they also provided financing, the two partners to the project to us. Yeah. Your question with regards to reduction of CO2 emissions. So for us, always the comparison is to the truck. Yeah, the alternative would have been the truck here, and so by doing the transports by rail, more than 70% of CO2 emissions can be avoided, and I think that's a significant contribution to the environment, and it equals, by the way, to 64,000 trucks per year, which are being replaced by the railway now.
Oh, that's a lot. And when we talk about mm operating this system, maybe you can explain it to me. I'm not a technician. How would you explain the operating daily? What's included in the whole package?
Okay, no problem, Kira. It's of course driving the train, yeah, but not only that. It's the entire preparation that you are able to operate a train. So we have a control center which is managing and steering our train movements and also controlling it. But we are also doing the maintenance of the fleet. That means the locomotives need to be maintained, the wagons need to be maintained, and to do all that, that's what the team of DBCC is doing every day and actually every night, because our customer from UPM, he always told me at the beginning of the project, so some years ago, Niko, it's not a railway for me, it's a pipeline. So that means I want to have constant flow because I cannot afford to have pulp stored at the factory. It needs to get transported to the port and then to the ships and going across the globe. So that's key, that this supply chain is working, and that's what we do 24/7.
Very interesting, and I think now it's working quite well. You mentioned in the presentation earlier on, you do have some challenges you are facing. So maybe if you like to also explain to our listeners what are the challenges you're facing, because operating a system that complex is not easy.
No, absolutely not. And at the very beginning of the project, key challenge for us was competency. In a country like Uruguay, where you have not really railway operations for decades, you don't have a labor market where you can recruit qualified locomotive drivers, qualified technicians who can do the maintenance work I just was talking about. So we were forced to recruit people coming from totally different businesses to qualify and train them for their new professions. We started to do that back in Europe, in Germany, in Spain, and then later on also here by training on the job, so to say. And that's what we have been building up here. We use here also European standards. That's important to say. So it's a state-of-the-art railway operations. And of course, SDB, as the biggest railway operator in Europe, we constantly also over the coming years and decades will contribute with the latest know-how which we are having.
Mm.
So that was one of the challenges at the very beginning. And the operations is working, I knock on wood, very well, as I said before. But what we face is that the railway is something new in the country, and there's no real railway culture or something like that. So safety is a concern to us, especially as we have so many level crossings um, on the line, and that's unfortunately a source for accidents. And so we need more awareness about railway running through the country, and that this is even better protected as it is in the moment. But also, we ask the authorities and the government to invest again into safety campaigns to the people, that the railway is safely operated and that they're also protected.
Yeah, I understand they are coming or they're passing every 6 hours, so people probably are not as used as in Germany by having a train crossing every hour or every minutes. So I guess it's difficult. And I learned that almost every kilometer you have this crossover of
Yeah, level crossing we
cars.
call it. Yeah, absolutely. So we have so the line we are operating is about nearly 300 kilometers, but over 220 but we have over 220 level crossing. So that number shows clearly it's a lot, and some of them are protected by barriers, also by signals, yeah, traffic lights, and so on. But some are not protected, yeah, just by a warning sign, and so that's a source um, of problems, yeah. And the other one is that, of course, it's new in the country, and something new. People need to get used to it and need to get uh, be made aware about it. And I think that's something which should be done now, uh, more than as it is today.
And when we talk about Uruguay, the challenges, but also the success story behind what you were able to reach with the partners you are working here, why Uruguay? Why would you say, I learned today Deutsche Bahn also is operating systems in India and Egypt. So my question now, Uruguay.
And also in Europe, by the way, yeah. So and Germany. No, UPM is a customer of us also back in Europe. That's the one thing. And of course, we like long-term strategic projects where we can transfer know-how into the local uh, environment. Yeah. And this kind of transformation projects, I think we have proven in the past that we are the right partner to do that. And that's why I'm sitting here today very happy to report that this has been achieved. And of course, we want to continue that. And all targets set up by our customers has been met so far. And we work hard that this is continuing like that also in the future.
Talking about the future. So your trip today or these days to Uruguay is because you're actually motivated to find more interesting projects and be operating on a larger scale, maybe here in Uruguay, maybe also in other countries in Latin America. Maybe you can tell us your vision also.
Yeah. I think we have built up something now here which we can bank on. Yeah. We have demonstrated with all partners, and I include the government of Uruguay specifically to that, UPM and others, that such a central railway corridor, which was not in use for decades, as I said before, is brought back to life. Yeah, and yeah is a main logistics line. So that can be used now for even more business, first of all, but also it could be connected to Argentina or to other countries to create even more network. That would be a great vision, I think. and yeah, looking forward also to learn more about the plans of the government here in Uruguay for the master plan of the railway, which they are setting up now, and yeah, also in other countries to maybe replicate something which we have built up here is possible, I think.
Very nice. I wish you all success. I heard tomorrow you're going to also visit the Ministry of Transport, so you're really on a fact-finding mission about what the future brings. So maybe summarizing for our listeners in one, two sentences, what was your experience so far, and what are you wishing for?
Well, my experience so far is very positive. Railway projects are always long-term projects from to start with up to it is really to a stage where we can talk about successful operations, but it's worthwhile doing it. And I think the figures show impressively that such a railway makes a lot of sense. And to repeat that, that's my message, and to encourage all involved stakeholders to do more in that respect. And I think then the railway has a great future in Uruguay and in whole South America.
Wow, thank you so much, Nico, for your nice finishing motivation ideas as well and why you came here. And we from the German Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Uruguay obviously want to accompany you in
This journey, which we
this
have done so
journey.
far all the time. So I would like to extend my thank you also to you, because coming to a country, and it's some years ago now, but if you are the new kid on the block, you need partners, you need friends which support you. And I was very, very happy also in our meeting today with other business colleagues from Uruguay uh, that I was able to meet familiar faces which have been following that journey which we took here also. And that was absolutely great experience. Thank you for that as well.
Thank you so much, Nico.
Thank you. Muchas gracias.